Hello, friends. Hello. Hello, how are we? Welcome on into Coffee with Brodes, as the kids call it these days. It is a Thursday. We had some action last night. LeBron James is the GOAT. I'm sure that pisses some people off, but he is the GOAT. Did you see last night? Did you see that three-point shot? Did you see that unbelievable shot go down? What was that, from 900 feet back? With one eyeball? Oh, God, he's the best. He's the best, and I enjoyed every second of it. The Phillies lose, and that sucked. That sucked. My dog's barking. That sucks. That's annoying. People just came here to mow the lawn, so now I have to hear that whole debacle while I drink my cup of coffee with you. That's where we begin. Cheers, everybody. Have your cup of coffee with you. Drink it with me. That was a sentence. Cheers. Yes, comparing Steph's 37 points to LeBron's 22 when LeBron hasn't played basketball in I don't know how many months and stepped back and hit the biggest three-point shot of the game. Oh, wow. How dare LeBron do something like that? That is just horrendous. Nothing like a LeBron James one-eyed shot that goes down in front of the face of Steph Curry. I love it. Literally love it. Got my cup. Got prom tonight? Oh, nice, dude. You got prom tonight? That'll be fun. Where's that located? Or you'd maybe not want to say, maybe. I don't know. The classic MJ statements. Dominic, come on. You know, if you're just going to make ridiculous statements, you shouldn't make them at all. How about that? Steph Curry was amazing. The shots he was making. Yeah, in the beginning, it was pretty damn wild, right? I mean, it was like nonstop, and Draymond Green's defense was absurd. You had so much good defense being played. Anthony Davis was obviously frustrated. So it was, it was intense for that Lakers team, and they kind of looked out of it, don't you think? Early on, it was like, wow, the Lakers are going to be this version of the Lakers. And it made sense. It made sense for the Lakers to be out of touch. It made sense for the Lakers to be all over the place because LeBron hasn't played in so damn long. They haven't been able to gel as a team. But goats do what goats do, and they wake up in the second half, they put the team on the back, and they make the clutch shots. I mean, that shot was just absolutely filthy. It was legitimately phenomenal. It was no fluke. It was no off the backboard last second heave. That thing hit nothing but net. That was straight cash. It was beautiful. It was executed perfectly. Gave me an erection. Yes, that's how I thought about that LeBron James shot. The Spurs-Grizzlies game was shockingly entertaining in the second half. Yeah, it was okay. It was all right. I'm not, look, it takes me a lot. It takes me, like, everyone's like, oh, Brodes, you like it now. You like the playoff game now, the play-in game now, because LeBron had a good game. And it's like, no. For me to be entertained by a play-in round, it took one of the best players in the history of sports to be injured for about 3 months and then play in a play-in game because their team sucked the entire time, kind of thing. That's where I was at. So, yeah, I mean, take that for what it is. For me to enjoy this play-in tournament, it took the greatest athlete my eyes have ever seen to kind of be injured for a long period of time for the circumstances to even be that. Brodes, I was at the game last night. The Phillies game? Nap hit was way out of here last inning. Dude, I thought so too. I thought that Nap one was gone. I thought that thing was crushed. And at the time of the bat meeting the ball, I was like, here we go, baby. Andrew Knapp with the walk-off. The franchise, as they call him. The superstar. The next Mookie Betts. Mike Trout can't sniff Andrew Knapp's jockstrap. That player was at the plate with the game on the line. And I thought the Phillies had so many chances. They had chances in the third, and they could not move anybody over. It was Odubel Herrera and Torreyes, of all people, that sparked majority of these innings for the Phillies, and they just nothing. Over and over and over again, they came up bankrupt, and you kind of figure that would happen. There's a dope that comments on all my videos, and unfortunately, there's a lot of dopes that comment on a lot of my videos, but this guy is like the worst. the absolute worst. And he is just, I've never seen one thing positive come out of his mouth ever in the history of the sports talk with Brodes. That is now Brodes Media. I have never seen this man say something positive. Harper's 100% worth dick. Wow, this guy is nothing. This offense is the same crap for 4 years, and it's an embarrassment to baseball. So, like, I don't know, maybe that last hit, last game, where he ended up driving in a couple runs in that 8th inning, that's nothing. Bryce Harper is clearly injured right now, and he's just playing through it. And I don't know if it's his fault that he's playing through it. I don't know if it's a problem with the franchise and the roster saying, like, hey, we need you to play through this. Right now, Bryce Harper is hitting 301 with 7 home runs, majority of them being solo shots. Not his fault that nobody in front of him is not getting on base. So 301, 7 home runs, 13 RBI with a 959 OPS is worth dick. Okay. I mean, this guy's just an absolute moron. I've told him that billions of times before. But at some point, like, let's use your brain cells. You're telling me the reason why this team is 22-21 is because of Bryce Harper? When you watch this team, that's what you see. If that's the case, you just don't understand the sport, which not everybody understands sports. I get it. You know, not everyone is as knowledgeable about baseball as others are in this league. I won't put this guy in the same category as Ken Rosenthal. All right. I won't put him in the same category as Jason Stark, but this guy's an absolute idiot. Let's read this one more time. Harper is 100% worth dick. Wow, this guy is just nothing. Well, then don't watch the Phillies. Don't watch Bryce. If that's your assessment, you are clearly a dope and you're clearly stupid. And it's just that simple. And it's been literally 4 or 5 years of this guy just saying things like that over and over again. So I'm allowed to kind of snap back. Crazy. Just crazy. Thank you so much, Matt Cookies. I appreciate that. Says, hey, Brodes, love watching your content. Every video. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Just someone in the comments section on my video. He comments on he never says anything after a win, and if he does, he's still crushing the team after a win. And he's literally, I'm not even making this up. I'm not even joking. I'm not stretching the truth here. He's never once said one thing positive. I think when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, he was mad at Jim Schwartz. So, Tim, he didn't even blame Joe Girardi like most Phillies fans. He's going at Bryce Harper. Dope might be an understatement. True. I don't even I'm even out on the whole Joe Girardi slander too, as you know, though. It's like, and I went through this in the post-game show. After game 1 of this series, there was a conversation of why did you go to Jose Alvarado? You should have went to, and Brandon Kintzler's name was in the mix. You should have went to Kintzler or Coonrod. So then in this game, fine, you go to Kintzler, a name that was mentioned on your post. This is a different guy, but I'm just saying, a name that was mentioned the night before in Kintzler. Why didn't Joe go to Kintzler? Now he does go to Kintzler, and now the narrative, well, why didn't you go to Coonrod? You see why I have the problem? You're just screaming at whatever guy doesn't work that the other option was automatically going to work. That's not necessarily the case. You wanted Kintzler instead of Alvarado. You got Kintzler in game 2, and he allowed 3 straight hits, and one of those happened to be to Trevor Rogers, who you had to have Joe Girardi go up to the mound in general to speak to Kintzler and say, dude, throw a meatball down the dick. Throw a meatball down the middle of the plate. You had to tell him to do that to the opposing pitcher because he couldn't even get that right. So at what point is it? I mean, all these guys you can throw in the same spot. It's not asinine. Kintzler, Coonrod, Alvarado, Archie Bradley to a mix, although, I think he's going to solidify a role once he establishes himself. Connor Brogdon, all these players, they're in that same kind of category of they play in that late inning rotation, and there's no set, this guy goes here, this guy goes there. No, they can all do it. They can all do it. It's about them executing, not if they can do it. They all can do it. Those that I mentioned. I'm not saying David Hale. I'm saying those that I mentioned, they can all do it. They can all do it. I can't believe how bad Kintzler's been. He's had some nice moments. He's had some bad ones. Welcome to being a relief pitcher, He's had good ones. He's had bad ones. But yeah, I mean, his numbers, if you go to his stats for this season, um, it's not pretty. It's almost touching a 7 ERA. It's definitely not pretty. Looking at his 13 innings pitched, 6.92 ERA. Hasn't been strong. That's for damn sure. Yes, I agree with this assessment. Players have roles, and but in this, I don't even think they have set roles though. I think they just have a bunch of bullpen pieces that work in in many spots. You could put Alvarado in the 7th. You could put Alvarado in the 8th. You could put Kinsler in the 6th. You could put Kinsler in the 7th. You could put Archie Bradley, like I said, is a little later, but you could put Connor Brogdon in the 7th. You could put Connor Brogdon in the 8th. You could put Coonrod in the 7th. You could put Coonrod in the 6th. You could put Coonrod in the 8th. You could put Coonrod in the 9th. You could put any of these guys in these spots. So they're all in that late inning role spot, and that's fine. That's okay. Just who you're going to call on that night, and whoever you call on, it makes sense for them to be in that spot. But then it's time for them to deliver. Alvarado had a rough night in game 1. His command was off. Yeah, I mean that's Jose Alvarado to a T. His command is off tonight. Well, all right. Welcome to a fun ride with Jose Alvarado. That's basically what it is from the jump there. You notice his command's off? Okay, it's going to be one of those nights. All right, we're going to have one of those games for Jose Alvarado where you're somewhat, you're looking around, there's a 2-out walk, or there's a 1-out walk, or there's a 1-out 4-pitch walk, 4 straight pitches, bang, bang, bang. What do you know? You're already in a tough spot where you're working out of a jam. Oh, here's a single. Sticky Chris says Herrera is greater than Trout. Look, for anyone who was doubting Odubel Herrera, though, the kid's been a player. The guy stepped up. I mean, he had a lot of adversity to face, not just from the angle of what are the fans going to think about me, what is Major League Baseball going to think about me, what am I going to be like as a player? I have not played baseball in X amount of years. I have not seen live pitching with an MLB, like legitimately in MLB action with screaming fans in such a long period of time. Obviously, we're having a little bit of fun here saying he's better than Mike Trout, but the point stays true that he's been a dog for you. He's been getting you timely hits. He's been starting off rallies. He's been bringing the energy. He's been bringing the passion. He's been playing very well. I don't hate Herrera. I think he's playing fine. And to think just because you do one thing in your life, and it doesn't need to go down this road, but I'll just keep it as simple as this. If the Phillies believe that, and I trust Joe Girardi's assessment on human beings, I trust Dave Dombrowski's assessment on human beings. If they feel the need, or if they feel obligated, or not obligated, that's not right. If they feel that he's done, yeah, but people can change. I mean, to act like just because you did one thing in your life, I've seen people make some life-changing decisions. Something so horrendous happens to their life that they have changed their perspective and changed everything about their life for an extreme change. Who says that's not Odubel Herrera? I don't have the information. I don't know. That's where I go back to. If you're playing him, I believe that Joe Girardi, Dave Dombrowski, they've assessed this situation. They have more information than we do. So, and you're entitled to not like him. I'm not saying you're not allowed to not like him. If that's something that you will never give another person an opportunity, won't go second chances on them, that's up to you to decide. You can have that opinion. I'm not telling you what's right or what's wrong. My personal opinion is I do give people second opportunities. There's a line, of course. I need to see true growth as a human being. I don't know Odubel Herrera. I don't know what it is. I don't know how he's changed. I expect that there is a big change considering he's getting this chance. But look, he's playing baseball very well. He's hitting the ball. He's getting on base. He's playing smart baseball. He's bringing energy to the team. He's clapping with a big walk in the 8th inning. Torreyes knocks him over with an 0-2 count. Doesn't even just knock him over. Gets on base as well. But look, Odubel's playing good baseball. Odubel's playing good baseball. Yeah, he should have started the season. We knew he was the best player. We knew he was the best player out of the 3 that was there. And speaking of the 3, you look at a guy like Adam Hastley. You do know Trevor Rogers went after Adam Hastley in that draft, right? Trevor Rogers is gross. I think he went 13th. Maybe it was 14th. Yeah, okay. He went 13th overall in 2007. Adam Hastley went in the top 10. It's just terrible to think about that here's another player who is going to be a flat-out stud, who can pitch beautifully, who has an unbelievable repertoire, who's super young, and now we need to witness him play in an in-division rival because you picked up Adam Hastley, who can't play. I'm not even talking about what happened with him recently. Good for him to come back to whatever the personal reasons that he had. I'm not talking about the personal reasons. I'm talking about him playing. He's a fourth outfielder. So you drafted a fourth outfielder in the top 10. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Nick Maton is the GOAT. Yeah, there was a lot of reaction yesterday for not having Nick Maton in the lineup. I get it. I understand why that's frustrating. But at the same time, I'm not going to be all, I'm not going to cry about it. I don't think you're Nick Maton away from winning that game. And oh, by the way, Torreyes was very, very, very solid. 2 hits, followed up Odubel very nicely, had a good defensive play in the 9th inning that could have been a difference-making play if the Phillies exploded at any point offensively, which I was waiting for and they didn't. But yeah, there's that. I did have this donation come in a couple minutes ago that I slipped my mind, excuse me. But thank you, Chris, for the $2. What's up with the fan LeBron slander? With the fan LeBron slander? Crazy to me. What's up with the fan LeBron slander? What does that mean exactly? You mean fans slandering LeBron? That's always been that when you're that great, you have a bunch of haters. Unless you're saying people are slandering being a LeBron fan. So I'm just trying to figure out which way you're saying. LeBron getting slandered by fans or LeBron fans getting slandered? Which one is it? Oh, we got $10 donation coming in from Sixers205. Thank you so much, Sixers205, for all the support, and thank you for the donation. Who's out of the playoff rotation? Well, unfortunately, I wish I had the answers. I wish I was Doc Rivers and I was coaching in the NBA and had a championship and was the coach of this Sixers team, but I'm not, which kind of stings. But, if you're asking for my personal opinion, which I don't think is going to be Doc Rivers, I'm going 8. I'm going 8, and I'm going with Matisse Thybulle, George Hill, and Dwight Howard. That would be my 8. So you're starting 5, then that would be my bench. But the problem is, and it's not a problem, it's a good situation to have. It's a problem when it comes to analyzing what really matters. Your team is so dynamite. Your team is so dominant that you're going to be able to he's going to play 10 men, 11 men in the first round. When you play the Charlotte Hornets, you're going to abuse that team so badly, and they're going to, or not the Charlotte Hornets, but a team of that nature. We know what, it's Washington or it's Indiana. You're going to breeze through these teams so easily that you're going to get away with Tyrese Maxey. You're going to get away with Furkan Korkmaz. You're going to be able to go 10 deep in a playoff series against a team that this team is structured to annihilate. So if you're talking about the first round, I think you're going to see the standard bench that you've seen all season long with minor tweaks. You're talking about the Eastern Conference Finals. You got to limit that. You really need to condense it. You got to go maybe 8, That's the way I would do it. The Lakers-Warriors game was insane. It was a fun game. It really was. Coming down towards the end. But for a play-in game, think about the scenario that had to be laid out for it to be that fun. Klay Thompson, massive injury. And we knew about that heading into the season, of course. And LeBron, a huge injury that left him off the court. Yeah, so your better teams were in a play-in round because of injuries, not because, the play-in round is some genius thing to do. Sorry, but LeBron is not the GOAT. Okay, he is. That's a wrong comment, but okay. He's the greatest basketball player we've ever seen. Just athletically built, the basketball IQ. He's literally the best. Amazing passer, scoring, longevity. Look, they play the Phoenix Suns, right? I believe they play the Phoenix Suns now. We know what's going to happen, don't we? We know what's going to happen. I don't know. I don't think it's the Lakers' year, to be honest with you. LeBron's been banged up this year. For the first time in his career, it's really hindered him to this level. And, that happens with father time. I think there needs to be a little reset for him. It's been a tough season for the Lakers. I don't anticipate them going the distance. But guess what? We wouldn't be surprised if he went the different. There's a reason why my man made it to the finals as many years as he did in a row. As many times as he did in a row. How do I feel about the Sunday 1 p.m. start? I love it. Sign me up Sunday afternoon. It's going to have to go up against a a Boston Red Sox Phillies game. And you know me with my Phillies. Does Nick Pivetta line up in that series? I hate the fact that we were just asked about a Sixers game because it's Sixers playoffs, but my mind instantly went to 1:00 Sunday. They're playing the Red Sox. Is it possible Nick Pivetta's on there? Tyler just asked if I think LeBron will retire. Um, Eventually. Do you mean now? Now? Okay, where are we here? Ooh, you escape Nick Pivetta. You escape Nick Pivetta. Oh, man, you escape Nick Pivetta. Dude, that would be insane. That would have been tremendous if you got to witness Nick Pivetta coming home to Philadelphia to what, 11,000? By that time, I think it's 16,000 cheering fans going wild, standing ovation, nonstop cheers, signs, crying, thanking Nick Pivetta for all the fantastic work that he has done in this city. Cries. People are going to be crying tears of joy. Thank you. I named my son Nicholas after you. I named my dog Piv after you. Thank you. Thank Gabe Kapler comes back for the ceremony. There's a whole entire walk out to the, when the 08 team got that ceremony and they all walked out to the podium in front of the dugout. Nick Pivetta gets to experience that moment. Thank you. Thank you, Philly faithful. Without you, I don't know where I would be today. I was waiting for that journey for Nick Pivetta, but unfortunately, he was robbed from that moment. But to answer your question, how do I feel about it? I'm excited, man. I'm excited for some playoff basketball. I'm really, really, really pumped up for it. So I'm just looking to see what my weekend's going to be like, because I was originally scheduled to be on the Fanatic from 4 to 8 p.m. on Sunday. So I don't know now, because the Fanatic airs the games as the flagship station. So there's going to be some maneuvering around. I guess I got to just figure out what my weekend schedule is going to look like with the game being played at that time and what that means. Standing ovation doesn't mean booing, does it? Well, take it for what it is. I didn't, That's Brodes' nightmare right there. Yeah, that would be a really tough thing to experience. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I'd be able to handle it. I mean, I'm sitting in my living room with aviators on, booing the hell out of Gabe Kapler when he came into town. So, yeah. I would not spend one penny, not one penny, on any Nick Pivetta games in my life. If Nick Pivetta ends up coming back to Philadelphia, there's no shot in hell. I mean, as a Red Sox coming to town to pitch, I ain't spending a dime. I ain't spending a penny. And speaking of penny, wow, what a great transition. Deal Dash, okay? I use Deal Dash. I'm looking for winning. All right, I need winning. The Phillies didn't win last night. They lost. They lost 3-1, and it hurt me. But I chase that winning feeling. And you get that with Deal Dash. The shopping platform is so damn fun. It's the longest running penny auction website and app around. Is it too good to be true? You bet it is. I've seen cars go for $900, brand new TVs for less than $2. Do not be a loser. Stop paying full retail price for things and go to Deal Dash, www.dealdash.com, or download the app. By the way, when you register, you can use promo code COFFEE for phenomenal odds. So, yes, you need to go to Deal Dash right now and check it out. And also, if you refresh this page, I'm going to throw the link in there. If you head on over to the description right now, there should be a link that sets it up through my account. So through my promo code COFFEE, if you refresh the page, and it should be in the description right now, I just uploaded it, the link will be there for you to click on. It'll automatically apply the promo code COFFEE. I really thought Knapp walked out. I really did too, man. I really, really did too. That was a shot. And I think it's interesting, the whole dynamic of how the post-game show played out afterwards. Are you mad at Knapp for missing that pitch? When Garcia throws it and thinks, God damn it, here we go. I let one slip. You got to pounder that or pounce on that. You got to crush that, man. You got to bounce on it. You got to crucify that pitch. Knapp just missed it, but you can't just miss it. You can't just miss that pitch. The pitcher let one go. He let you have it. He handed the game to you on a silver platter, and you did not take it. Yeah, I think there's a problem with Bryce Harper right now physically. I think he's battling a lot. I think he's fighting through a lot of pain. There's days where it feels good, days where it feels bad, but he just wants to play because it's him. Because it's Bryce Harper, you know? It's Bryce Harper. So he's going to try and battle through everything. But you thought he was turning the page. You thought he was turning the corner with his assessment because recently he had one day off and then he became a really nice player. That following stretch was like, that was so relieving. It was like a nice breath of fresh air for him. He's got to kind of assess himself as how old is he 28 now? Is Bryce Harper 28 years old? It's crazy how old he is, but he's 28 years old now. So it's not the same as playing when you're 22. It's not the same as playing when you're 23. It's not the same as when you're playing at 24. It's just not the same. The Phillies need to find players who can hit well, like Merrifield. We need hitters who are consistent, fast, aggressive on the bases. Yeah, I mean, they're obviously lacking something, but Andrew McCutchen has been phenomenal. All right, Andrew McCutchen just hit his 250th homer. He's been good. I mean, I just think if you look at these players individually, it's not a disaster. Other than the start of the season, Andrew McCutchen has turned the corner, and he started being the Andrew McCutchen that we anticipated seeing. So Andrew McCutchen has been fine since the problems early on. Gene Segura has been one of your best structured hitters and has been one of your hottest hitters. Bryce Harper is hitting over 300. Rhys Hoskins, yeah, there's some ups and downs there. I would like to see some more consistency, but if you just look through it, Alec Boehm has been a little bit of a mess. Didi Gregorius has been a little bit of a mess, but do you make up for that with a player like Nick Maton, who came out of nowhere and slashes 400 for a long period of time? Odubel Herrera has been very strong for you. So you just kind of look at your players and individually, they're not that bad. Yeah, there's some hiccups along the way. Not every lineup is going to have all 9 guys just cruising with great hitting throughout. Not all 9 guys are clicking on the same page all at once. Maybe 7 of the 9, 6 of the 9 are cruising, and that's enough, while one guy's fighting some mental hurdles and one guy's in a slump. But ultimately, like Boehm needs to get better. Boehm isn't hitting what we need him to hit. Now, players are making an adjustment towards him. He came in the league last year, 60-game season, shots are firing, pitchers make adjustments. They recognize what you do well, what you don't do well, and then they kind of pitch through that. You're not getting that, though, out of Alec Boehm right now. But I don't think statistically, which, doesn't tell the full story in my opinion, the players, it hasn't been as disgusting as I feel the offense seems, if that makes sense. The Brad Miller ground hit, that Brad Miller ground into double play was a heartbreaker. Yeah, it really was. It really, really was. I know that there's a lot that are not happy with the non-bunting over. I understand why you would bunt over. I also understand why you wouldn't bunt over. This is just how the game is played. Whether you like the way the game is played or not played, it's the way the game is played. You just don't bunt guys over anymore. You just don't bunt guys over. So I think Zach Eflin needs to get that bunt down in the third. If we're looking at the third for what it is, when you get Odubel and Torreyes on, you got to move them over. And then Kutch strikes out at the top of the rotation, or at the top of the batting order when it flips back over to the top. I guess it's more once again, I just praise Andrew McCutchen. He's been phenomenal since he's turned that page. But it's that timely hit. It's that needed hit. It's putting that hit together when other guys are getting their hit. It's domino effect with the lineup. I don't know if it's necessarily in rhythm right now. It's all like, okay, hit, 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 hit. You're not getting those hits unless it's one game, and that was last game against the Marlins in the 8th inning in game 1 of the series. Other than that, you don't really get that flow of the lineup, and that's where the statistics maybe don't tell the full story on it all. You got to move the guy. You got to get the guys over, not necessarily move them over with the bunt, but you got to get the ball in play, not to second base on a dribbler. If I remember correctly, he fell behind 0-2, which put him in a tough spot. But you got to go lefty. And it tells you about, like, we've been talking about it for how long? You don't have a righty off the bench. You really don't. You don't have a guy that you can rely on off of the bench in a big spot for you to be like, yes, we have a great hitter that we can expect some sort of damage. You pinch it with Nick Maton in the 6th for Zach Eflin for his night to be over. You throw in Brad Miller lefty at the end of the game. You don't have options. It's a roster construction problem when you got to go lefty. You know. I don't really have many thoughts on Hurts' press conference, honestly. We know what he is. We know about his mentality. We know about his approach. Nobody's questioning him as a person, a leader, someone who's going to talk in front of people. We know it. We know the Jalen Hurts mentality. I think a lot of people are getting sucked in now, which is funny. I've always been more optimistic than most about this team. Not that they're going to do well in terms of winning football. I think they're a 5-6 win team type of thing. But oh, man, Jalen Hurts is going to be special. Why? Because he talks well. Just like with Nick Sirianni, he doesn't talk well. Does that mean he's a bad coach? No, it doesn't mean. I might not love the way he talks. I might not love his energy, but it doesn't automatically mean he's a terrible coach. Just like guys speaking about things. It's like everyone's positive right now in the Eagles organization. And that's fine. It's better than being negative. It's better than having some bad thoughts about these players and bad thoughts about these coaches and whatnot. Like, we want the energy to be high. At the same time, just because there's a lot of positivity, it's easy to be positive in May. Is my point. It's super easy to have a good vibe and good work ethic and good appreciation for the sport of football in May. Let me see what it's like in September when you're on a 2-game losing streak. Let me see your positivity and your vibe and your good energy when you're 1-4 after the first 5 games of the season. Then let me see it. It's so easy to feel great about OTAs and rookie meetings and this and that. Yeah, and look, I'm not poo-pooing anybody here involved in the Eagles locker room, but I just think it's so funny. Like, I actually saw Nick Sirianni in a 6-second clip on Twitter from the sidelines when the beat reporters were at the NovaCare complex, and I heard this. Wow, I feel differently about Nick Sirianni now because of the way he was showing Devontae Smith how to catch a football. In what fucking world is a 6-second clip and when rookies are in shorts and no helmets, is that going to be how you change your opinion on Nick Sirianni? It's like, it's crazy to me. I wouldn't say you've been more optimistic than most. I mean, I've been hearing that this team's going to suck for the next 5 years because Howie Roseman is the biggest disaster in the history of sports, and this team is set up for failure with this front office and with this regime, that we're just going to see losing football in 2-win seasons for the next 5 years. I mean, I've been literally hearing that forever. And so I said that you're going to have one bad year and then you're going to be good again, because the salary cap's going to open up for you because of the contract coming off the books with a player like Carson Wentz with the dead cap money. So, I mean, maybe I haven't been more optimistic than most in terms of like this season, but I just think as for when it comes to turning things around as a franchise, I don't think it's going to be as long as some others do with it. But yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think Howie Roseman has had a very nice offseason to this point, for whatever that's worth. I think Howie Roseman did a good job in the draft. I think Howie Roseman did a good job in free agency. Think about this, because Skev Beat says how he's been a savage. I don't know if you're saying that in a positive way or a bad way, but I think Anthony Harris, great signing. Linebacker, they have a good signing there for a holdover spot. Bringing in Ryan Kerrigan, nice depth piece. Everyone's kind of saying this, but it is reality of the situation. It's sort of like a Chris Long move, and Chris Long was a big acquisition. So, they're adding some nice pieces to the table here where they're still going to compete, and they still have a lot of draft picks in stock for next season. So I know they told you it was going to it's going to be a rebuild, and it is going to be a rebuild. They're going to rebuild, retool, and they're not going to win one game while doing it. They're not the Cincinnati Bengals. They're not the Cleveland Browns. They're going to find a way to get their first round draft picks, which they did by trading Carson Wentz. Obviously, that one has a compensation on it and all, where he's got to play X amount of games and whatnot. But you have your seconds, you have your first for next year. So now we can be competitive to a degree and play hard and have the right culture in mind, not be a team that's like, hey, we're going to tank. We're going to lose on purpose. We're just not going to be good. We're going to enter a season knowing we're going to stink. They're not doing that. So they're having the right mentality with the young coaching staff. While that's happening, you're also building for the future as well. So, take it for what it is. He's defied odds this offseason, already big. See, that's where I disagree. He already defied. No, he did it. He did it. People just overreacted and said he could never do anything positive again after making a lot of positives happen throughout his entire 20-year tenure here in Philadelphia. So he didn't really defy the odds. He is better than what people gave him credit for, and everyone was just very frustrated and bothered by him and gave him no chance to do it. But that doesn't mean the odds were against him. He can do it. There's a reason why this organization has had success. So you got to find that balance. He didn't really defy the odds. No one just believed in him because of the overreaction of the 2 seasons of the downfall compared to what he's done in 20 years. He's had a ton of success. He made some really nice moves. He got you Ronald Darby to help you win a championship. He got you Jay Ajayi for a timely trade to help you with the running back core. He's made nice moves. He's made nice trades. He's done that in free agency as well. He's done all this. He didn't defy odds. He's done this before. People just hated him. The ceiling was pretty low. Well, that's because of poor perception. That's because of poor judgment by fans. That's not because of, him personally. The bar was set low by the fans because of the poor mentality by the fans with it. And I'm not saying I didn't understand the hate. Of course, I understood it, but I think there's ways to be objective with it as well. I said that I'm giving him this, it's been bad for Howie Roseman, but it hasn't always been bad. So I've seen it be good. Knowing that I've seen it be good at some point, let me give him a chance to work out of the funk that he put himself in. I've seen him be a positive here. So knowing that you've been a negative recently, let me see if you can get back on the positive track. If you can in the next 2 years, I'm moving on from you, Howie. But I think he put himself in a good spot here to kind of solidify some time as long as things move right in the right direction. If LeBron does this for 3 more years, well, be prepared because my man doesn't slow down. This is the first time he's had some obvious, real injury, and sometimes father time hits you once, and from there it's kind of what it is. But I don't anticipate LeBron James falling apart anytime soon. I blame de-juicing the balls for Nat making his walk-off. Well, there were a couple that almost went out, right? I think it was, let me see here on my notes. I think it was that 6th inning. I think there was a 6th inning in play where that was the Bohm inning where Bohm sucked defensively. Rojas doubled, ended up hitting Bohm off the glove with Duvall, but Kutch and Odubel made catches back at the warning track about 2 inches away from the wall. So while Andrew Knapp almost had one, you can make the argument that the same happened with the Marlins where they just missed home runs by a 1/2 of an inch as well in that 6th inning, which could have blew the game completely open. So Odubel caught one right at the center field wall and Kutch caught one out in the left field wall. It could have went both ways for sure. I like Nick Maton, but I do think we need to pump the brakes a little bit on this whole thing. Alec Boehm was amazing last year. Alec Boehm is struggling this year. Why? Because, players figure you out. Pitchers know your tendencies as a hitter. There's so much in play. I'm not look at Scott Kingery. He had 19 home runs. He hit about 250, 260 in that range. Now the guy can't sniff the league. I'm not saying that's going to happen with Nick Maton. All I'm telling you is 42 games, which he hasn't even played all of those 42 games, is not going to be the difference in me feeling like Nick Maton is some stud or not. We're not even close to having enough information on Nick Maton. Am I intrigued? Sure. I mean, he has 84 at-bats in his MLB career. He's hitting .310. He had 2 homers in 1 game. He plays with an edge. He's a defensive work ethic machine. So was Scott Kingery, though. Scott Kingery gave you 19 home runs. I believe it was around 258 or so was the batting average that season. And now with all of a sudden, he just fell apart completely. I like Nick Maton, but we already have individuals claiming that he's the future. You need him to play every single day. I'm just not ready to go that far. I've seen so many times a player start out hot and then fall apart. I've been fooled so many times. At what point do we realize it just takes way more than 84 at-bats to come together with an assessment on who a player is going to be? You know, I give him credit. Looking at some of his minor league stats, I mean, he's playing A ball. He's hitting 250, hitting 256, hitting 266 in, it looks like a combination of double A ball. In Reading, he hit 210. In Clearwater, for the A-plus level, he hit 276. He hit 333 in the fall league, 12 at-bats. Very small sample size. Now he's hitting 310 in the majors. I like Nick Maton, but let's cool the Jets. That's all. It's as simple as let's cool the Jets. See, Mason is what we want, Mason. Maton is what we wanted Kingery to be. I mean, do we know that? Do we know what Nick Maton really is? Start Bohr. Oh my God. Remember Bohr? What's up, Joey? What's happening, dude? That's so funny. I remember that. I remember the is he still playing baseball? I feel like he retired. I could be wrong. Justin Bohr. Yeah, the last time he played was 2019 with the Angels, it looks like, after the Phillies. I don't like the way MLB, I use Baseball Reference. I don't like the way MLB.com sets it up. 2019 was his last season with the Los Angeles Angels, where he hit 172. Time for Justin Bohr to go. Brodes has Steve Mason on the brain. Yeah, probably. Jesus, after watching all this net minding, for all you hockey fans, we did record open ice hits this morning. So we're going back to 2 a week during the playoffs, which is super fun. So there will be an open ice hits podcast up a little later on today. I do have to export the pod and get the audio together because we normally, when we do record open ice hits, we record it from 8 to 9. And then from 9 to 10, I jump on Coffee with Brodes. So we record. And then from there, we, I got to get done everything after Coffee with Brodes. So funny, though. With the thought of Justin Bohr, a name I haven't thought about in a long period of time. Is Knapp a starting catcher in this league? No. I think Zach Wheeler's statement on that is just a teammate just helping out a teammate kind of thing. I think Andrew Knapp has taken big strides. He was also so pathetic that taking big strides puts him at a nice backup catcher role. My man's hitting 182. Okay, he's put together nice professional at-bats. I'm not ripping him apart by any means. I think he's taken a significant jump, and he's been a nice part to your team. He earns good walks, timely walks, had some big timely hits involved. Andrew Knapp has been just fine. This team has been helped out by Andrew Knapp more than this team has been hurt by Andrew Knapp. No, Knapp is not a tremendous hitter, Jim. This is what I'm getting at here. Like Jim comes in and says Knapp is a tremendous. No, he's not a tremendous. He's been in the league for 5 years, and his batting average is 225. He's not a tremendous hitter. His last year's numbers at 278 sticks out insanely compared to his other numbers at 198, 182, 257, and 213. Andrew Knapp is not a tremendous hitter. Here's where I think it's fascinating what Zach Wheeler said the other day when he was talking about, Andrew Knapp's starting caliber in this league. You know why that might be possible? And it's not, but why it might. People don't value the catcher position. That's your throwaway position. We don't care how he hits. We don't care about the offensive production. Just catch the game. It's the analytically based number game where you look at the production by a catcher offensively compared to where you could spend your money elsewhere, thinking about, how you can upgrade your team in other areas. The catcher position is just not valued. So a team could throw Andrew Knapp in their starting lineup and be your starting catcher just because they don't care about how you actually hit as a catcher. So that doesn't tell you about how Andrew Knapp is. It tells you about where the league is with the catcher position. That's why JT Realmuto was having the offseason that he was having with the UFA situation. That's why McCann was the hotter item, because he wouldn't cost as much. Still getting good production in that area won't cost as much because people don't want to spend any money at all with the catcher. They'd rather just be below average, not be horrendous, not be good, not be average, just be kind of below average in the catcher position and then spend money and be elite in other areas where that's how a team might view it. I don't think Andrew Knapp is a starting catcher, though. No, I don't think so at all. I do not think Andrew Knapp is a starting catcher. but I know Zach Wheeler made that statement the other day, and I think it's more of a product of where baseball is, not so much a product of him being that amazing. So what you're saying is he can start on a team that absolutely blows, that doesn't care about winning. Well, if that's if that's where he is as a starter, think he fits right in with the rest of the guys. And I like Knapp. I'm not here to bash Knapp. Knapp has been fine. You're actually been put in a good spot by Knapp more than you have a bad spot by Knapp. So I'm not ripping the guy apart. I'm just telling you how it is. I'm just telling you how it is. I don't think Bohm will be successful in the league. Why? What makes you think that? Look, he's been struggling statistically. He's been a little bit down compared to last year, but last year his numbers were so great. When you watch Bohm make contact, there's nothing that tells me about his swing and his stance that he's not going to work. Is he late on some pitches, and that's why they're all going opposite field? I mean, it does seem like a lot of these pitches are going opposite field, but I almost look at that as a positive. If he is late on some of these pitches, first off, he's driving the ball where it needs to go, wherever. I don't care if it goes opposite way, if you pull it, if it's this, if it's that, if you're a tad late. I don't give a damn. You're just making good. You're putting the ball in play and you're making it happen with some good strokes at the dish. But I almost look at it as the positive. Okay, if you are a little late on these pitches that you could square up better, and right now you're taking it to opposite field, eventually you're naturally going to figure out that timing and you're going to square that up more, where you might get more power, where you might get more home runs, where you might get that more, more pop involved, because instead of a tad late and going to right field with it, and first off, these balls are still getting driven very far to the wall, pretty much warning track power, where the right fielder or the center fielder has to move over and make a stellar play at it, make a nice jab at it. They're naturally going to maybe become more power with it. Yeah, no, I don't think he has like holes in his approach with his stance. I think it's more timing than anything else. And right now, he's getting defeated in his head a bit too. It's a mental side of the game. We all know that. We know what it's like to be in that batter's box and overthinking and overanalyzing and just putting so many different thoughts in your head. I think that's where he is right now. But once he snaps out of it, he'll snap out of it. It's funny. Shelfie texted me yesterday. I never got a chance to respond to him, but he texted me before he went on his stream. Let me see here. And don't look now, by the way. Alec Bohm has 7 hits in his last 5 games, and that includes another 2 loud outs over the weekend. Hot streak is here. Need a couple dingers. I say he goes yard tonight. Well, complete opposite. I think he finished 0 for 4. 0 for 4. So it wasn't like Alec Bohm had that. But let's go to some Alec Bohm numbers, shall we? Let's look at some Alec Bohm numbers. He's hitting .224. He's got 4 homers. Let's go to the game log here for 2021. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, not counting yesterday's game, Alec Bohm had 2 hits in game 1 of this series, 2 hits in that final series, in that final game in the series to Toronto. He literally had a 5-game hitting streak. So, and even before that, he had 1 hiccup and he had 2 hits before. I mean, he's been hitting the baseball. I mean, it acts as if he hasn't been getting hits. Dating back to May 9th, 1 hit, 0 hits, 1 hit, 1 hit, 1 hit, 2 hits, 2 hits, 0 hits. So that's all in combined games. And even in the month of May. Let me just read you the month of May with hits with Alec Bohm. It's crazy. Hitting .224. I'm with you. It's not the best production we've seen out of Alec Bohm. That's obvious. But it's crazy when looking at these May numbers. For it to be .224, it just seems like it's better than that. So starting May 1st, all right, I'm just going to read you the number of hits involved. This is the number of hits each game. 3, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 0. That's all in the month of May. It does not really scream to me .224 hitter. So I just think that it's crazy. It's crazy to think about. Now, if you go to his splits, though, I'll go to his career splits. Or should I go just to this year? I will go just to this year because, last year was a fun ride, but I'm curious on how he's sitting with, let's see, runners in scoring position. He's hitting 286 with runners on. Runners in scoring position, he's hitting 286. He's hitting 244 with men on in general. How does that relate to his career? That's what I'm fascinated with seeing. How does that relate to his career, which is only one short season involved with it? He hits 369 with runners in scoring position, 329 with men on. So obviously significantly better in the year of the shortened season. That would help inflate those numbers. But yeah, he does make some solid contact, man. He really, really does. Give him a full season. G. Give him a full season. I think we are giving him a full season, no? I have no idea what Mickey Moniak's doing, and I don't even want to look, man. I really don't. I really, really don't. Moniak does suck, though. That's pretty obvious. He is bad at the sport of baseball, and he was a first overall draft pick, and he stinks. You know, there were when he had that little ride early in the season, it was like, oh, here we go, bro. You're wrong about Mickey Moniak. No, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong about Mickey Moniak. I'm right about Mickey Moniak. He stinks. He's bad. He doesn't help your team. He hurts your team. You got to have better production out in center field. It's bad. It's bad that you took him with the number 1 overall pick. It's bad that you took Adam Hazley when guys like Trevor Rogers is in your division and you're constantly going to have to see him, and he is a stud. Trevor Rogers is sick. Trevor Rogers is sick. Trevor Rogers is very, very good, and he went 13th overall the year that you drafted a 4th outfielder in the draft in the top 10. And also keep in mind, too, like, here you go, you're drafting Adam Hazley, and then you also have Mickey Moniak. Like, what is the mentality here? What is the approach? What are you doing? What are you doing? Mickey Moniak, Adam Hazley, what are you trying to do? Because the answer can't be build your farm system, because you're just not doing that. You know? You're just not doing that. LeBron ain't the GOAT. Well, okay, he is, but okay. You could be wrong. I mean, it's okay to be wrong. I don't expect everybody to be right all the time. You could say he's not the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. But other than that, other than being wrong, you're right. You know? People really out here saying the Sixers should be worried to face the Wizards and the Hawks. Yeah, I mean, come on. The Sixers, they have the control here. There is no reason to not be in the Eastern Conference Finals. It would be a complete disaster. It would be a colossal failure if you did not get yourself into the Eastern Conference Finals. The road is, they should annihilate both of these teams. Literally annihilate both of these teams. How is LeBron the greatest? I don't know. Have you seen his entire career? Okay, so this is where you're wrong, right? Like, obviously, I'm not like, yeah, Michael Jordan was, and you can say the greatest of all time, and I'm not going to, like, it's not ridiculous to say Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. I can understand it. Here's where, with all jokes aside, right? I was just having fun with you earlier. Not even close. Wrong. Not even close. Wrong. Yeah, I like to have fun and say that, not have fun. I do believe that LeBron's the best, but I can understand why people say Michael Jordan was the greatest of all time. I'm not really hating on it. I get it. Not even close. Wrong. Wrong. Close. Very close, actually. You can have your preference. Fine. I can live with that, with all jokes aside. Like, that's where it's like, sure. I mean, there's so much that goes into titles. If you think it's just the titles, then we can go through all of the players in this game that has won titles that are not the greatest of all time. It's not just about titles, even though that's the easy out for the MJ supporters. There's a lot more involved. I mean, you look at what LeBron brought to the finals, and then he gets criticized for not bringing down a Golden State Warriors team that had insane firepower, where he's bringing Matthew Dellavedova to the finals. I mean, come on. You can't knock LeBron for not getting a ring that year when Matthew Dellavedova is the dude. I mean, there's so much here with context that gets lost over time that is unfortunate, but not just the title, the journey that brings the rings. I mean, I watch LeBron James go to the finals every single year with garbage. I've seen him team up with guys too, but that's the NBA, man. I mean, that's downplaying Scottie Pippen. That's downplaying the team. Michael Jordan had a phenomenal team with him. Michael Jordan had the right pieces. Dennis Rodman, phenomenal. Bringing guys on, adding to his team. Like, I just love how the narrative is, well, LeBron teamed up with guys in Miami. And Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen and brought in Dennis Rodman and had all these other guys that played such a big part in winning a championship. There was that too. I mean, I have a problem with, look, I don't have a problem with people saying Michael Jordan was the greatest. I really don't. All right, I get it. I really do. I think LeBron is, but I'm not hating if someone believes Michael Jordan is. The numbers are there. He was one of the best athletes ever to live. So you can have that opinion, and I'm not saying you're wrong with that. Where I'm having the problem is not even close. It is close, and it's very close, and it's the closest we're probably ever going to see. It's very close. It's 1A, 1B. It's that type of discussion for these two guys, and that's fine to say. I have the problem that these MJ supporters won't admit that some guy came up and is right at the heels. If you don't have him as better, he's that close, and it's okay to admit that. It's okay. It's all right to say that LeBron is probably the closest thing. If you don't believe he's better, he's the closest thing we'll ever see. And he's there. He's there. To act like he's not there is asinine. It's asinine, and it's disrespectful to say that LeBron isn't right there. That's where I have the issue. To say it's not close, to say it's not even a little close, that's where I have the issue. Not so much saying Michael Jordan's the GOAT, because I can clearly get behind someone saying that Michael Jordan was the GOAT. The disrespect to LeBron is where I have it. And you got to think different era. You know, MJ, like, he was and LeBron obviously has power overseas and whatnot, but like now with social media, Michael Jordan lived in a different era. And that era catered to Michael Jordan more so than this era doesn't cater to LeBron. Social media, unfortunately, politics plays a role in that. There's people that just despise him for his politics, or they don't appreciate his game, which is ridiculous in my opinion. There's so much involved in today's era of athlete that has everything going against LeBron too. So for whatever that's worth, I realize now that it's past 10 o'clock, so it is time to end Coffee with Brodes. Make sure you check it out. I'm giving away a Ben Simmons jersey on my Twitter at Brodes81. So make sure you head on over there and check out a Ben Simmons jersey. And I will hang out with all of you guys tomorrow morning. We have Phillies tonight. We'll know the Sixers' opponent tonight. So I'll be talking to you guys for sure. All right. Well, I question your knowledge of basketball. With all due respect to Kobe Bryant, okay? Obviously, we all respect Kobe. Love Kobe to death. That's not close. That's just disrespectful about you. Just don't like LeBron. And I love Kobe. Everyone loves Kobe. Kobe was a dog. Kobe was a killer. It shows you the separation of MJ and LeBron compared to Kobe and the rest. Michael Jordan and LeBron are in their own tier, and then you have Kobe in his own tier, and then the rest kind of fall. And yeah, sure, there's the Magic Johnsons of the world and whatnot. I'm not disrespecting them, but MJ and LeBron are in their own separate tier up at the top, and then there's the Kobe tier. And I mean, that's just common knowledge. But see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out.